I don't know. As long as these suckers keep getting more views than my regular fishing videos, I'm liable to put one out a day. So we just went shopping. But before I tell you about my shopping spree, now I backed off. I idled it back. I had a bunch and I backed off. Because, let me tell you why. I have no idea how well I'm going to like these baits. So I didn't want to spend a small fortune. Still spent probably more than I should. I should have bought one bait just to try it, right? But I didn't. But in the meantime, last night I got bored basically. So I took the Zillion and I don't know if you could call it an upgrade or what. You guys can comment what you think. I just tried a few different configurations. I did polish this handle up because what I was going to do is I was going to put this back into service, and I still might. That's Aldebaran 22 BFS with an MGL spool. Awesome reel. Still can't really make myself like it. But I was going to put this handle on it, but that's an 85 millimeter handle. That is from AliExpress. This is a Daiwa handle cut down. So I was like, well, I probably ought to put the shorter handle back on this, right? So I probably need to polish that up. It hasn't been polished in a while. It's bare aluminum. You can polish those up and make them shine just like this with, I guess, I don't know. All my videos end up going long because I always try to explain everything. But Mother's Mag and aluminum polish is about the best thing I found, reasonably priced. Just go get some of the auto parts store. And you can use a Dremel like I do, and then I kind of finish with just a cloth type deal. But you can use, a Dremel with those wheels and kind of get the majority of it like kind of a fast polish. Hopefully if you guys can see it, like you can make that baby shine. You can make that metal shine. So aluminum 85 millimeter handle. I took this knob. Now these knobs all start out the same. They're real big. But instead of cutting them down perfectly round, they end up, in order to get them as small as what one side is, you have to really cut into them. And they almost end up being a little too small. Pretty good for BFS, but for regular bass. So what I did on this one, I did the same thing. I just cut it down as I went, but I left it more like just a little more, so it's not, these look gaudy. If you guys know what I'm saying, I think they're just a touch too big. Here's what it, is blue, of course. But it started out like this, and I just stick it on the Dremel like this, and as I'm turning it, I take a drill bit and actually just hold it, look like kind of like it's on a lathe or something, and just, trim it down. So what you end up with is this. All right, sorry about that. I had to shut off my Wi-Fi. Our house, we do not have Google Fiber. Trust me, it sucks. So anyway, this looks like it may be a thicker one, but it's not. It's just that this tapers down, so it looks thinner, but looks thinner. So what you end up with is one that, in my opinion, I think it looks a little better. Looks different, that's for sure, but does the same thing. When you grab it, it ends up, as you grab it, will find its way to the flat spot and works, right? And you guys comment what you think. So I put my gold back on it because if you look, and some of you have never really seen a Carbon Light 2.0 up close, the first few wraps have a gold highlight on it. So the gold, and I don't know, in my opinion, it just makes the Zillion look a little better. Still up in the air on, I'd like to have a lighter blue, and as long as I have that. Now at some point, I'm going to try to maybe just do away with the blue and go back to the camo braid. So maybe, I don't know what to find to match. I like the way this feels, and it doesn't look bad. I like the looks of the wind grip, but it's hard to try to figure out what knob, and I know that's why I said Girly in the deal, because in my opinion, this isn't girly, but you get a lot of dudes jump on there, the same guys that consider spinning gear fairy wands. Wait, is that me? But anyway, what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, I'm not a girl, I don't care, it doesn't have to match. But there's nothing wrong with having your fishing gear look cool, right? So performs pretty much the same. Now what will change is it is a 85 millimeter handle instead of 80. And I could go longer if I want. I typically, now it's not an 80, it used to be. So if this was the original one, like it came from AliExpress, it was 85 millimeters, not 80 millimeter, like what the stock Daiwa one was. That I don't remember what this thing comes with. I don't even remember. I took it off. I haven't used it. It's in the box. But what this should do is give me just a touch more cranking power and slow me down just a hair. And a lot of people tell you, oh, that won't slow you. It slows you down. The gearing's inside the reel, but if you've got, just imagine, just go crazy out here. So imagine if you've got a 200 millimeter handle and you're cranking it. You're going to have way more power and you're going to go slower. So you may not even be able to feel it going from 80 to 85. Probably won't be able to tell one bit of difference. But if you go from an 80 to a 110, trust me, you're not going to be able to crank it. Your hand won't be able to crank that reel as fast. So even though you're getting like, say, 30 inches per turn, if you can go faster, you can get those 30 inches per turn in faster or slower depending on the handle, and powerful as far as, how much more added little power in what you're pulling in, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm just going to try it with this, and I think it looks cool. I'm not sure about the gold out here, but I did that in gold. I don't know about that gold and blue going together. I don't know. I don't think it looks bad. What I wanted to talk about, though, isn't even really this. So I'm rigging up some stuff. We're going to go fishing this weekend. Still not 100% sure exactly what kind of fishing I'm doing. But if you remember right, today's video is kind of on the what we got going on with hard. We'll just consider this like a hard bait video, right? So to finish up the reel side, we've got that. Nothing has pretty much changed. It's still going to get out there. Like I've talked about, the little Acuras, no issue there. I did want to give you, and I'm going to try to share the link because I don't remember what they call the thing. A LingL Variant popped back up on AliExpress, and I don't know if you guys have seen it yet or not. It looks just like the LingL, but it's got a gold spool, not a black. The LingL, for those of you that don't know, the LingL is still on AliExpress. It's not called the LingL. You got to search if you guys remember that deal. But it is the exact thing. Xinghe LingL with the Shimano-like FTB braking system, black spool, but you can only find them for like $100, and they've got a shallow and a deep, and the deep spool is not like that. It's not the FTB or whatever. But then on another store, on AliExpress, I found, it just popped up. I don't know how it just popped up one day. I think I was looking for, what was I looking for? I don't know. I was looking for something. Oh, I was looking for the JKS when I was looking at it to figure out the price. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, the LingL. And they're like, oh, wait, it's got a gold spool, but it's not the FTB. It's a, BFS gold spool, but it's got their just standard style, like what all these guys have, the mag track, just a magnet sticking on the outside that go up there. But it looks, the gold spool makes a LingL just look that much better. Like, it looks good. They're I want to say they're $75. Don't quote me 100%, but I want to say they're right back to around what the price of the LingL was. I think if you click on it, put it in your cart, click the, thing to buy it, mine showed up at $75 and something. So that's right around the price of what the LingL was. I think one of mine I gave $79 and one I gave $74. Just depends on when you catch them on sale. So I'm not getting any. Charles may want to pick up one more of those, a little bit different variant, because Charles has all those variants. Now, if over this winter they bring the true LingL back and that reel stays on there, it's a possibility, but probably not. I think I'm done with my LingL days. I think are done. But that is an awesome reel. Palm's nice. It actually palms better than the Steez kind of frame. It's almost kind of copied. Whoa, look out, guys. And while the camera shakes, I was going to do a cast test today. This is the last thing we talk about. Like I mentioned, though, I'll try to share I'll try to share the link to that LingL Variant. After this video is over, I'll put it in. It'll be in the description. So anyway, if you guys remember right, this reel Jay sent me. I was going to try to get out and do a test casting deal on it today. It is crazy windy. I haven't done it in the last couple days because it's crazy hot. We're like high 90s setting records here in the Midwest. And today I get home and it's like 35, 45 mile an hour. It's crazy. It's windy. So we're not doing any of that. But what we did do, we ran to Bass Pro Shops just because we could. It's right down the road. Just a hop, skip, and a jump. You guys ever heard that term? About a gallon of gas. Actually, not even that much. So I went to Bass Pro Shops to get one thing and maybe a few different colors of the one thing. Problem was, they only had one of the colors that I was wanting to get in that one. Now I may go to Rogers tomorrow. I may just skip and wait till next week because there's some stuff I want to get at Rogers. And feel free as you guys are start watching to jump in or whatever. I don't know how long this video is going to be. So over the years, I don't know which baits I've tried in the bait we're talking about. Let me just show you a little. Does this give you a hint? I've tried a bunch of different Strike King baits over the years, and I'm not knocking them as far as working. In the past, I feel anyway that I've always been able to find a bait that works better than, say, any given Strike King bait. Or for me anyway. But like, I don't know, say for just, I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm not a huge spinnerbait guy, so I'm probably 100% wrong on this, but like the Strike King spinnerbaits. All right. I feel like I've had there was a Heart and then War Eagle, like a couple of those different. I just like those spinnerbaits better. Then I ran into those little Strike King ones that are heavy weighted, and those have their purpose, and those are awesome, right? And then as far as Rattle Traps, if you guys know, the red eye shads. I mean, I've bought a few here and there over the years, and I still can't say that they're that great of a rattle trap over other rattle traps. I guess I fish with my rattle traps a little bit different because a lot of people claim that the red eye shad has the way it, like you can kill it and let it fall, and the way it kind of just drops down, right? So, why did I buy one of these? I did buy another red eye shad, but see the color? So that's kind of a little prelude to what's going on here. I went up there just to get, because if you guys remember right, I went through my square bill box, and we only kept the deep or the shallow jabberjaws. And we're going to try to find some different square bills that I like. And so when I was up there, I kind of just went to like, well, let's just give Sexy Shad a try. Now, you guys comment below if you like this. Because here's two colors that Strike King has always said, whether in everybody that, you know, swears by the Strike King baits. The Sexy Shad, and then probably the black chartreuse black back is like probably the two best colors going on the Strike King hard baits, basically, lineup, right? And I don't remember how many of these colors I've ever owned. I believe I owned one of these before. I know I've owned, and probably I have a small one now, I think the chartreuse Sexy Shad, but I'm not sure if I think I just lost one of these, that color, not too long ago. But I know for a fact, I don't think I've ever bought a square bill in Sexy Shad. I don't think I have. But we're going to try the deeper one. But while I was up there, I went nuts. And I like rattling baits. This one's got a little rattle in it. I was going to get the hard knock, but this one rattles, I think. And it was like cheaper anyway. And it's like the original. I don't even know what the difference between the hard knock and this one is or whatever. But so I got that one to give a couple things. The Strike King square bills I shot and the Sexy Shad color. I'm going to try to talk myself. Well, not talk myself. We're just going to find out if I can feel like I get some luck in it and it works good. We're going to use it. Now, I went up to Bass Pro, and I literally was lining up the whole. I went two ways. The first way, and I did not buy all these. I only bought 5 baits. Excuse me. I went with like, well, just how many Strike King hard baits, So I went from, and let me bring one more out. I went from this dude, just a 1.0. Well, if you get every hard bait in a Sexy Shad color that Strike King makes, well, you'll go broke, because they make the 1.0, and they make the 1.0 in a silent or the rattling. I don't think they make a hard knock. It's either the rattling like this one or just a standard one, which is silent. They make the 1.5. They make the 2.5. I don't think they make a 2.0, do they? I don't think they do. And then they go to this deep diver, and then you go through different series. They've also got a shallow diver. It's like a 1.5 size, but it's a shallow diver. They've got the 2.5, the 3XD, the 3S, which is the 3 series. They've got a roughly this size flat-sided one. They've got a chick magnet in the sexy shad. They've got the 5XD, the 5S, the 6XD, the 8XD, the 10XD, the sexy shad in this color, the quarter or half ounce, the quarter ounce, the 3/8 ounce, and you can go over. I believe you can get the suspending jerk bait, the deep diving jerk bait. I mean, there's tons of Strike King hard baits, right? And I'm pretty sure every Strike King hard bait you can get sexy shad color. It's like one of their main colors, right? So I had a bunch of them set up from like this little dude up to, when I got to the 6XD, I went, this is ridiculous. I'm not even going to fish none of these. So I put those back, and then I had 10 baits. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to fish these baits. So I put all those back. I ended up with just 5 to give a shot. Because what I was doing, I was going to get the 1.5 silent and loud, right? Silent and rattling. And then basically every bait up to the 3XD, which is roughly the same size. And then I was even going to get a 2.5 just to throw it in there because it's, you know, it is bigger and it's sort of like the Jabberjaw. But anyway, so I decided I opted against all that. So what we ended up with were 5 baits to try. I don't know, I'm long-winded. And I'm sure I've tried 1 or 2 or, you know, the only ones I for sure have not tried. I've never tried this bait. And I was rewatching Mark Menendez in a video fishing this on Rip Rap and stuff. I want to say this bait, I've asked you guys, nobody commented. The earliest video I could find is in 2018, an iCast video. Kevin Van Dam was talking about him. So I'm guessing they're, you know, 4, almost 5 years old. I don't know why I haven't even seen them or spotted them. Maybe I did. I know I didn't try them. Maybe I looked at them and went, nope. But we're going to give it a shot this time. And the only other new bait, now I had the 1.5, what do they even call that one? 1.5F, flat-sided. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not. But I did see this, the chick magnet. I've been thinking about wanting to try one of these, and you know, the Otts Garage, those flat-sided ones and all those. And I've tried the Berkeley, oh shoot, what is that one called? Fritz side or whatever. I was not impressed with that bait. I think I caught a few fish. And I know you use these a little differently. These all remind me of the, and that's what one of you guys had commented and asked me if I, on the Spro, the Little John, Mad John, Crazy John, whatever crap. And I know they catch fish and all that, but I've always been like, this is my wheelhouse. These little square bills, like I just, the Dig It is the main one, but most of the time when I find something I like on these little, like this, the Man's One Baby Minus, they tend to be more rounded. I've never felt like these just went in and went nuts. So anyway, having said all that, and I don't even remember exactly what I said. I had to go back and rewatch the video just so I'll know what was going on here in this video. This is the main one I wanted to try, and this just to see how well it'll do. But then we're going to give that true sexy shad a shot. And you guys comment on what your favorite Strike King baits, if color-wise, are. I don't want to know what your favorite bait is because there's too many of them. But there are certain colors that I've always heard about over the years. The one color, I have not tried this color 100%. The reason I'm trying it right now is because there's one color that comes a little closer to this, but I heard more about the sexy shad in this. Because this dude right here, other than the back color, other than, you know, the back being blue or green. Now they do have one that's got more of a green back, but that sucker is not far from it. You know, that is the closest that these guys come to a sexy shad, the Jabberjaws, and this sucker just works. But anyway, maybe think, well, maybe I just need to put some, you know, maybe it's a confidence thing, right? So we're going to try it. I spent like $40 on these baits. If I fish these the rest of this season and I just don't feel too good about them, I'm liable to just ship them out. But if they're so-so or they catch on fire for me, you know, any one of them or whatever, I may give a few more in the lineup that color a shot. I'm going to pick up a couple different colors of these. Now, if these kick in, whether it be this color or whatever, I may give, you know, keep some of these around. I already know these do work. I have fished these. If you remember right, I've got these in the oyster that seemed to be pretty good there for a while. I mean, I'm going to give the 1.0 a shot, like, and we'll probably put it up heads again, up against our, oh shoot, the Proberos. They're roughly the same size. I'm hoping I would love to like be like, oh, awesome, I like sexy shad. And then I, you know, as I'm wanting a bait, because trust me, Strike King makes one for whatever application, hard bait. I know they make one in the color of choice, right? Instead of having to worry about tracking down, you know, well, which bait and which color and all that. So anyway, that's what we're doing there. And that's not all we're doing. Who wants me to go through my other boxes? Nobody? Okay, so I'm going to do it anyway. These are going into, well, except for that one. These are all going in with the, which is, if you haven't watched that video, go watch that video. This box was full and we emptied it out. Oh, while we're on colors subject real quick, I guess I could open these up, throw them in. Just so you guys know I'm serious. You guys know how well these, or what depths these dive at. If you don't, look it up. So I'm just going to randomly put them in somewhere. I don't know where. I'm anxious to throw that and this chick magnet. The other ones, I'm curious to how well the sexy shad color works with those baits, because I don't remember ever throwing those in the sexy shad color. I think I've always had like a bluegilly color or a bassy green type thing. This bait, they were so worried about me stealing this chick magnet, I can't get it out. Hang on. Let's go with this one. I'm gonna end up hooking myself. Now see that little dude for BFS, right? That thing does look good. Stick him up there. Regular 1.5. Now see this one got a little rattle. This one's got a little rattle. When I have the choice, I don't like ones that are silent. Most of the water I fish has a slight stain to it, and the water that I fish that doesn't have a slight stain to it, they're honey holes. Those fish are loaded in, and they doesn't seem to matter near as much anyway. I'm not saying I won't get silent ones. Like if I feel these are pretty good, I'll probably eventually, and I had silent ones in there, and then I'm like, no, I'll wait. I'll go with what I like better right off the bat. Plus, oh, this does have a little bit of a rattle to it. I thought this would be silent, but it's not. So that is a flat side that's made to look like a balsa custom, but it can't be balsa. It's got a rattle. It must be plastic. But I've heard decent, I ain't gonna lie, I've heard good things about these, so I'm hoping it's a decent bait. And then of course, so yeah, we're done. That's all you need. If you can't catch fish like that, just go home. I will put that, like I said, I may go to Rogers and pick up maybe a color or two different, or I may just fish with that. I may just fish with flat sexy shad from here on out. I've got that one chatterbait that is basically a sexy shad color, and I'll just get a worm, one of those white worms, paint a yellow stripe on it, and that's all I'll ever fish with now. So let's go through another box. Oh, before I even go to the main box let's go to my last box. This was originally my deep divers, and since I hardly ever throw deep divers, it ended up being a couple other baits thrown in here. We've got our crazy cheap AliExpress knockoffs that do work. I have caught fish on them. On this guy, and this guy went nuts one day. And then since then, I haven't really had the luck as I did that one day, but they still work. And I've watched Matt fish his around. The difference between these and the Mega Bass, or 30 or 40, whatever, however much money they are, these are a little harder to get to swim that way, but they do swim pretty good. The mega bass ones tend to swim a little bit better, but that would be the expected. The $3.50 to $35.50. So here's these. I've had these custom painted, a couple of them. Back in the day, I thought I really liked these, but you know what? These are going bye-bye. If you guys remember right, we still got our deal right here with all these baits that are going bye-bye. And Jay's, I think, kind of made me an offer on some of different baits, and I haven't even offered them to Charles for a set price or whatever. But so that dude, one of these has a crack in the bill. Yeah, this one, it still feels good, but it does have a crack. This one, yeah, that one does not have no cracks, but all these are going bye-bye. I'm tired of carrying these around, and I never fish them enough. They're going bye-bye. They're 4 of the RC, the freaks from Lucky Strike. And then I forgot I even had these in down here. These guys. These are square bills, coffin lip square bill. I call them square bills, but flat-sided. Now these work. All these baits in here work real good, but they're going bye-bye. They are good baits. These are the Norman, I believe. These are good baits, but I'm changing pace. These are also good. The Rebels. These kind of tend to hunt. I should keep these. I'll be honest. I should keep these. The one simple reason I'm not a real fan of these natural perchy colors. They do work. I don't know. They're just something. They got to go, guys. They got to go. They're out. They're out. They're going bye-bye. And then these suckers. I've never had any luck on these. Emily smoked me the very first time we went fishing. She caught a big fish on this one, I think. I don't know if I've caught a fish on any of these. Those two, they're going bye-bye. They're out. So, wow, I'm thinning out. My hard plastic game is sucking right now. I don't even know what I'm going to turn that box into. I may just turn it into another top water. I haven't decided yet. Let me move some stuff around here. So let's go to this box. We're going to go through. This thing's getting heavy now. I've got a lot of baits. I'm going to set it down over there. It's getting hard to hold. I went to the gym today. I didn't wear myself out. So let's go through this. This is kind of my last box that, I don't know, just cool stuff ended up in here. It's cool baits. They do work. I don't throw them enough. Now, the only bait I'm for sure keeping, I'm going to keep one of my wiggle warts that I had custom painted. This one here, it's an old one. And then this is an original wiggle wart. I'm going to keep that one. That is not an original wiggle wart. It's one of the Storm or whatever. And then I think I think I gave Matt a couple. I think that's an original. I should hold on to it too. So I should hold on to all 4. But so I'm going to keep that original shadish, lookingish, whatever color, crawdad color. I believe that's an original. I think if they say wiggle wart on the bottom, and they don't say Storm anywhere, but I'm pretty sure these are originals. It's supposed to work better. I'm keeping those 2, and then I think this was an original too that I had custom painted. Now what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna take this one, even though it's an original. I probably should leave it alone, just fish it. And I was gonna show you on that other bait. I'm gonna scrape on this one most of that orange off. This one I think I'll leave, so I have a lot of orange, one with a little bit of orange, and then a more natural one. Because on this bait, and I forgot to even talk about it. That was the first thing when I saw this one. I'm a fan of orange on the belly, but not that much orange. Even though that isn't a ton, see how it's all over the entire belly? I'm going to scrape that jabberjaw down to where it just has a little more up towards the front and gets very sparse towards the back. I just don't like with a ton of orange on them. At one time I kind of did. I had Norm Coulter paint some. Back in the day, some of them had orange belly, some didn't, and this and that. But nowadays, so yeah. So this one out of those, that's just one of the newer ones. It's going bye-bye. Let's start over here. These are good baits. I can't remember their bomber oh no, wait. Are these I think these are Bagleys. I can't remember what the name was. Yeah, they're definitely Bagleys. See on the whoa. Can you guys make that out? Bagley. I don't remember what the name was, but these are actually decent baits that I just never throw anymore. They got a lot of orange on the belly too. There's what they look like before you have one. And it probably says right there. Those two custom ones, Killer Bees, that's right. Bagley Killer Bees and whatever, that smaller size. They're going bye-bye. I never use them enough. These also work good. I just had these in a video not too long ago, and I got some of the smaller ones. But that little deeper one, and then that mid one or whatever, and these were expensive at the time. Scatter wraps. These are not cheap baits. They're bye-bye. I never fish them enough. Keeping these dudes. I like these. These little there's just times when you're throwing these, whether these like on just lightweight regular gear or that powered BFS type stuff. I do like that like scatter wrap jerky stuff. They're not like what I call a true jerk bait, but there's just times when that crazy erratic action, and then this littler two really. This guy's a little bit smaller. You can throw on like some BFS stuff at times, but I'm gonna keep those around a little bit longer. I hardly ever use them, kind of like I do jerk baits, but I feel when their timing is right, there's nothing that works better than these little dudes, or can work better. Oh my God, I can't get it unhooked. I can't. The barbs are insane. Oh my gosh. This one is, dude, you're about ready to go bye-bye just because you don't fit in the box right. That's a mega bass one. I don't remember which this one was in. Maybe a little Rapala or something. Okay. Then let's jump down here to this bottom. I'm going to keep these around even though they suck for me the times I've used them. I got into the rock crawlers, right? I don't know if I've just haven't utilized them right or something yet, but I got a couple different colors. And this smaller one. I think these two are rock crawlers, and that's that next size smaller. And these baits right here sucked for me. But I'm keeping these. I'm keeping those. And next season, they'll be going bye-bye if they don't feel like they work too good. But then all these are all going bye-bye. I picked these up earlier or at the beginning of this season, or towards the end of last season or whatever. Bad shad. Now this is probably a good one. I'm just not a huge fan. I thought that color I'd like better than I did, but and then these little dudes here. Then there's a little mini freak, custom painted. Yeah, I just not impressed. I'm stuck to these baits. I am not impressed with those baits. So all those are going bye-bye. I'm done. Ow! They have crazy sharp hooks because I cannot let them go. The hooks are good. And then these, I'm going to just hang on to these, I think. These, you guys have seen these old school baits. I'll be honest, the only reason I bought these is because I watched somebody else on the forum posting pics, with a cool fish, and how you do the editing, like an Instagram picture, and I'm like, man, those are cool to be catching fish with. And so I bought some, and they work. I've caught fish, take my pics, and I'm like, no. But they are cool baits that I guess maybe I should just keep. They're a little different if you look at these, and one of them I repaired. This one, it wasn't broke, but the lip was cracked, so it was going to be like, it wasn't going to, it was going to be game over if I kept using it. So what I did was I took a hard piece of plastic and I basically just squeezed, glued it, cut it to the exact shape I wanted, cut out around that, and then squeeze that on the backside to where as you're reeling it, pulling it through the water, it's still stout and it'll work, but then, and then these other two were fine. So have caught fish on every one of these. This is kind of like a little crappie or perchy one, and then a couple bass ones that go to different depths. Probably worth a little money. I gave $6 or $8 a piece. I can't remember. You know what though? They're going to buy. My box is going to be stuff that I fish and that I use. And that little bomber Fat A, I don't even know what he's doing in there, but he does work too. And so do these little mega bass baits. These are those little mega bass, and these aren't AliExpress knockoffs. Nowadays you can get similar to these. These are true. I thought it said right on them somewhere. I don't see the name on these. I thought this one does right here. Well, little griffins. I thought this one did, but I don't see the name nowhere. I thought it was. I don't know. Anyway, it's the same bait. I don't think it's a knockoff, but I guess it's a possibility it is if it don't have the name on it. And then this dude is a... Look at that face. Face only. Oh my God. Only a YouTuber could love, right? But it's some little baits, but they're all out. So now we're getting full now, but those are gone. So we've just thinned down our hard bait selection because I get tired. I carry this stuff around. All those baits you just watched me throw out have been at least the older ones, 4 to 6 years carrying around. Those older ones, a couple years. A couple years ago, I did some of that. You know, I was looking for a better square bill to replace the Dig-It. Not a better, but one to replace the Dig-It since they didn't make any more. So I was buying some of them other little bitty baits and this and that. So at least 2 years I've carried most of those baits around and hardly ever throw them. So yeah, I guess going through our stuff for next, kind of getting a jump start on next season over the winter. We'll know what to order, what to get. May buy a few things like we did with the Strike King baits, right? And the remaining like decent fishing and then once it gets real cold, we'll see what's kind of working or not working in the real cold water. So yeah, we're gonna try all those baits. I'm gonna put this dude in with the Rattle Traps, and that I already went through that box once. If you guys remember right, I sorted out. I went through my jerk baits and my Rattle Traps. That thing's full again of junk. Half that stuff I won't throw. I bought some of those from AliExpress. They just have not impressed me yet. But I'm holding off on all that because I feel jerkbait isn't kicked in yet. I'll be putting together a video through footage I edited, but I caught a few of those fish just swimming in the jerkbait. I actually caught about as many or had as many hits and caught probably about as many just swimming it as I did jerking it, which tells me there wasn't really a jerkbait bite on, like it's not going good yet. The water I don't think it's gotten quite cold enough yet. So our jerkbait bite kind of for this year is just, you know, early on I think I kind of missed it, and then I don't really hardly ever throw a jerkbait until it starts getting about close to what it's going to be now. So we're going to try those out. The bite that I feel has sucked for me, well, there's a couple, but mainly the Rattle Trap. I did real good for like a week or two, you know, a couple weekends. But before that and since then, I feel like the Rattle Traps, and I've tried the Strike Kings. I've got some of the white red-eye shad stuff. I've got the Booyah Hard Knockers. I've got some AliExpress knockoffs. I got littler AliExpress knockoffs. And the Rattle Trap bite, I don't know. I just feel like I'm missing something somewhere. A couple years ago, like I felt I could do no wrong. Like, you know, if you threw a Rattle Trap, it didn't take a long time anyway to start getting hit, or you just switched and then you find something else that was working. But there's just times when, you know, you can kind of tell when a Rattle Trap was on, or on the evening. Like sometimes these crazier baits, there's a kind of a period in the morning and then afternoon where they'll work better than that midday. You know, fish shut down. I don't want that crazy thing. So anyway, stay tuned. I don't know. Is that all I need to talk about? We talked about there's the LingL Variant. I'm gonna share that with you guys. And I'm not sure what's going on with these baits. I just kind of need to figure out what a set price a piece. I'm thinking instead of separating out the higher end ones from the separate ones, I may just try to sell. And the offer will go to Charles first. I'll try to sell him every bait $2 each, because every bait in here was at least like a probably $4.50 or $6 to $8 or $10. Even some of the mega bass probably even more. Like this is definitely a little higher end, probably way higher end than those dollar baits I sold for before. So anyway, I'll make that offer, whatever price I finally stick to Charles. And if he doesn't want it, Jay's commented like he might. I don't know. Matt may want in on it, but I know one thing. I want to sell all of it. I want to just do a lot, each bait, put a price on per piece, and just sell them because there's so many in there. If I take time to try to split this, split that, I'll be like, I'll have to open my own eBay store and spend 6 months getting rid of them. Did anybody ever come? Oh my God. Where are you guys at? It's hump day. You guys should be watching YouTube. Speaking of that, let's just go get it real quick. Let's go get the only box of hard baits that actually has anything in it. Our top water box isn't too bad. Actually, I lied. I'm not going through this box because I looked at it the other day. This sucker is stuffed full. And I started to, like, maybe I ought to sort some stuff out. But I like everything that's in there. There's my Dr. Frankenstein, a couple other ones. There's our Perberos. Here's that one little jerk bait that I really like, and I bought some of the bigger one in the same color. There's some real little bitty square bills, and we've got a couple of those little bitty dudes still. There's one of those littler scatter wraps down there with some of these deeper divers, and those weren't too bad. I didn't get enough time to test them yet. I kind of got away from the BFS a little bit. But then there's our little poppers, snores are in there. Like, this box is loaded, right? Megabass Baby Pop X. These little beans is stuffed full. This BFS box is totally full, and we're set. I just got to go BFS fishing with it. This box I already sorted out, basically so I could do what I did, and I went and bought some different baits to try, and everything's sucking so far on our Rattle Traps front. So I did an awesome like 1 or 2 days with this bait, and then since then, but the Rattle Traps in general, it's not like one of these other ones was really working. The Rattle Trap bite had just kind of been sucking. And I did real good one day with this littler dude, and I think even this color, because this is not far from these smaller AliExpress ones. This color, oh my goodness. You leave one of them without a rubber band, and it all goes to you know what. But anyway, that's not far from Toledo Gold, which is a good color most times. So far this year, it's not really been that effective. What are you doing over there? You don't belong over here. Get over there. These are our AliExpress Rattle Traps, our regular ones that I normally like, but I'm not liking any of them this year. And if you remember, I had the white red-eye shad in there also, 3/4 ounce. And I went through a phase where I was losing all my white Rattle Traps, and that's when the bite was on, and it seems like the minute I got stocked up and I actually bought 2 of each. I bought 2 Booyah hard knockers in the bone or whatever white, and I bought a couple of these olive ones, and then I lost one of these, and then the bite just, it's like the luck went with that one bait. So anyway, we still got, you know what I need to go buy? And I saw it at Bass Pro, I just didn't buy it. I don't think I've ever bought a white 1/2 ounce Rattle Trap. True Rattle Trap, not these guys. A true, like this. True Rattle Trap brand 1/2 ounce white. I don't think I've ever bought one. I've usually would use blue or black backed, chrome sided. Then I got into these red bleeding ones or whatever. And then that's just what I threw. Like I threw a louder, chrome flashy. I didn't hardly ever throw white. Now, once I got into a little what I called higher end, like the Excaliburs and different ones, I had a bunch of different colors. And at some point, all those Excaliburs are going to buy. I'll probably stick with I need to just buy a new one of these. I need to just either throw this in a throwaway pile or throw it off on a bench. Like, I don't know. I don't really have any sentimental value in it, but it's caught a lot of bass. But it probably needs replaced. But I probably need to buy a new chrome one, keep this chartreuse one, buy a white one, and that'll have my Rattle Traps sort of covered on the main thing, flashy, bright, white, And I don't know, maybe I need a true crawdad color one, which I have here somewhere. Actually, I already have it. Yeah, this dude. Somebody's gonna say a green crawdad color. No, you don't. You don't need that all. Oh my god, I don't even need all this stuff I got here. I'm gonna have to go through this box before long. So I'm gonna leave it alone until I feel I get on a good rattle trap bite, and then I'm gonna try to, like within that couple week period, try to go through these and see if these bigger ones are good. I feel these little ones are. These seem to work pretty good when you want to finesse down and they will hit a rattle trap. But I don't think these are gonna be that good. I've tried these. If you remember, I got a couple colors. So far, those have not impressed me, not once, and I've thrown them a few times here and there. I think I've caught a fish on this one, and I definitely got on a bite that one day with this one. This guy does not impress me. I almost think I need to, scrape down the sides and maybe get just maybe get that blue and the purple off the side, almost maybe even, or maybe just get my gold out and get that side a little more gold, kind of cover up half or more of the blue and purple. And I think that bait would actually be better. Kind of like my Toledo Gold, right? I think that's Rattle Traps version of Toledo Gold. Could even add a little more red or orange down the side, more gold or something. These baits are closer, I think, to the 3/4. I think they're kind of in between. I think they're, I don't know if I ever compared them with you guys as far as, like size-wise, they don't look as big. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're definitely like an in-between. They're almost as big as a 3/4 ounce, but they're not. They're definitely bigger than a 1/2 ounce, but I don't think they weigh as much as a 3/4. I don't remember, but so they're almost an in-between. I'll try to hold this one. I need more fingers. You'll work. So if you can see there, it's kind of just a touch bigger and wider for sure than a 1/2, but not as big as a 3/4. So I think they're, there's a time and place for them, and they're only a couple dollars. So if you got the room in your tackle box, I guess they're okay to get. Charles, I think, has caught a few fish in the one he bought also. He bought this color. And jerk baits, if you remember right, I just bought these. I haven't even had a chance to get out and really fish that. I don't remember which one I was throwing. Was I throwing a regular baby bass color or something? But you could just kind of tell, like I would just reel in it, and I would get hit also, and then more so than if I was sitting there trying to jerk it. We were testing out our jerk bait rods. So I don't think there's really a jerk bait bite going right at the moment. Oh, I had that open all that time and didn't put this dude in there. So now we have a true red-eye shad with red eyes, or oyster, which I kind of like that color, but I think it may just be me liking it more, so that's why I'm going to try this one. I'll probably put these two guys head-to-head and see if I feel that this one gets bit more than this one also, because I think I like that color better, because Matt started out with it, or the shizzle, and it was actually doing good with it, and then he lost it. And then I've never really, the luck hasn't kicked in for me, but I think that'll be better. But we'll see. I don't know. And I do like the bone from the booyahs when the bite's on. All right, that's it. I need to get out of here. It's 49 minutes. Stay tuned. We're going to be out. The way it's looking right now, probably be fishing with Matt on Saturday, Charles possibly Sunday, but maybe not till next week, and I'll be on my own. Or the next weekend after that, I'll be on my own this Sunday. And if I am on my own, does that a scratch? I don't even know what that is. It looks weird. I may go to the Odessa Reservoir, because I was kind of curious where the grass is at. And that's what I want. I want the grass that was up to where you couldn't hardly fish. If it's down, there's a couple things I could do. If it's just, all I need is a little bit of water above the grass, like just a little bit. I can experiment with our little bitty chatterbaits we hate from Cast King, right? The Mad Bites. I could do a little experimenting there with our 3/8 chatterbaits running across, but I could also get our frog and try to get, test our frogs a little bit more. I'm editing the video right now where I really didn't do too much good with the frogs, but we did. I was throwing the Z-Man one and it walks amazing compared to the other frog, like almost any other frog I've ever tried. The only other soft-bodied bait I found that walks like what the Z-Man frog does, and I haven't tried all the frogs, but back in the day, and they still make them. I want to say Live Target, that perch thing had this crazy, side to side and barely move. But that bait, I don't feel got it hit as often as a frog, but when it did get hit, the hookup ratio, in my opinion, sucked on that bait. And I'm just going off a guy that happened to be at Bass Pro Shops today when I was up there buying stuff. I had one of the guys that works there, he just started there like last week. I'd been telling him about the channel and stuff, so he came up to me as soon as he saw me there, and he's like, I've been thinking about trying a frog. Getting recommendations? I'm like, yeah, you don't carry it, the Z-Man frog. But I go, other than that, the Booyah Pop and Pad Crasher. So I showed him that one, and I said, well, you guys have a house brand, but I've never really tried it. So I started showing him that one. There was a guy there, getting some stuff, and he's like, a younger kid. He's a lot younger than me, probably half my age, about 25 or 30. He's like, oh, I've tried that. He goes, I don't like the Bass Pro ones. He goes, I can't keep fish hooked up. They get hit as much as the Booyah ones, but I can't keep them hooked up as much. And I've even bent the hooks out a little. So I was like, oh, I don't know. And so I don't know. I just told, like I told that other guy, I said, I'd go with what he said. If he said he's tried them and he don't like them as well as the Booyahs, I would get those. And he says, well, I'd like the Spros too, but and this is just coming from that kid. He says, I have to bend the hooks out a little bit on the Spro, and I've never had to mess with them on the Booyah, which I would agree. Like my Pop and Pad Crashers back in the day, I felt they were just good right out of the package. But I have missed a couple fish on them that I felt like, I don't know, man. It's like, wash. Maybe I should have had that. But I don't know. We'll find out. I may even bend those hooks just out a little bit also, because I had to bend them out on the Z-Man. I cannot recommend that Z-Man frog without also recommending that you definitely want to bend the hooks out. Like I'm not even planning on, definitely not bending the one I have back. I'm leaving it exactly like it is. It's been working awesome so far. Now, if it were to start catching on everything for whatever reason, I would bend them in a hair, but as long as it's what it's doing, it's working fine. And I'm not going to buy another big one just to see if the ones without being bent. I just recommend you watch that video of me unboxing that thing right off the bat. I could feel it. I was like, oh, I need to bend them out. So I bend them out, and it's been fine so far. We'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't like the video, hit the like button anyway. And then go watch Tactical Bass and spend tons of money. Lastly, I would like to talk about that real quick. Everybody else on YouTube, shout out to YouTube in general, but shout out to the Real Test. He just did a video today. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it on the AliExpress handle assembly. I forget the name of it. High something, and then the Gomexus knobs, which that's the same brand as the Drag Stars I've been buying, right? Gomexus. So I like the handle. The handle assembly, the handle itself looks awesome. Those knobs, those power knobs like that, I don't like those. I'm trying to make myself like these the wind power knob grip things. But high seas, high stuff. High something. I don't know. Anyway, that's a good looking handle for 15 bucks. But anyway, go to the Real Test. Check out that of him putting that on. And I commented on the video about how, because he went to get his take the nut off, and he was like trying to use some microfiber cloth or something that was just too thick. So then he had to use just his bare wrench, or he used his bare wrench. Now this one's all chewed up. I need to add a new one. But I was like, clearly you don't watch enough Bass and Bonsai, because I don't know how many times you guys have seen me. You just take you end up with enough of them, and it does not have to be, a little baggie. It could just be any of these baggies, and you just use any of that material. This one's a tad on the thick side, but any of these thin baggies, you just take it and stick the end of the wrench in the bag, if I can get it to open. For those of you that don't know, and if you want to take the retainer off. What's funny is, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Matt won't like this, but he probably don't watch these videos anyway. I sold Matt an Alphas, and he proceeded to strip everything to crap because he didn't realize you got to take that off to take the nut off. I'm like, what do you think that's on there for? That's a nut retainer. Like it keeps the nut from coming loose. But anyway, take that off. With that in there, now it's going to get chewed up and you're going to have to replace it every so often, but that will almost 100% keep them from scratching. Now, you get some of these cheap ones. You get that cheap anodized aluminum. I don't care what you do. It just starts flaking off. But like most higher end stainless, the decent anodized aluminum ones that aren't just painted, you won't have any issues with scratching them and scuffing them up just by doing that little trick with whatever wrench you're using, whether it be this wrench, this kind of, where's one at? This is what I use. It's just a cheap, made in China? No. Taiwan? No. Drop forged steel. It's so cheap it doesn't even tell you where it's made at. I just stole it from a mechanic. Right? 10 millimeters. You guys want to know where they're at? All your fishing buddies got them. So I just use that cheap one. I honestly don't know where that wrench came from. But you could also just use one of these that you get. And just... All right, I'm back. Anyway, I'm thinking I'm just going to leave that one in there because you can just grab this, pick it up, put it on there, turn it. So I'm going to leave that one in there. I need to find another little one. This one's about toast. But little trick for those of you, if you're going to do your own maintenance or whatever, and you're worried about, because you can buy like plastic ones, but I'm telling you, sometimes if those nuts are too tight, those plastic ones will strip right out. So anyway. All right, guys, stay tuned. As soon as that wind and the possibility tomorrow night, because I want to hurry and get this JKS. No offense to, I'm not trying to knock. I appreciate that Jay sent it to me and all, but it is a left-hand retrieve, so I don't think I'm going to mess with taking it out fishing anymore. But the main thing is I don't want to scratch it. I don't want to, so I just typically don't like using other people's stuff. So I'm glad he sent it to me and we got it out there. I'm glad that we saw, and I saw for myself, and hopefully you guys are taking my word for it. That reel is pretty nice. Like I felt the reel test. That's why I was talking about him earlier. Didn't give that reel its due justice on, I guess, just how good it does work. And we'll find out for sure. And I'm not knocking the reel test because that's another thing when I was talking about these guys that are out here on YouTube. And I'm not knocking tactical bassing, but I can tell you this. If you go off just Matt Allen's favorite bass gear and tackle, you'll go broke if you're trying to keep up with him because everything's his favorite, right? And it's even his running joke because it is. And it's like all of us, it's your favorite for the moment. It's like when jerk baits are on, jerkbait fishing's my favorite. Oh, spinnerbait fishing's my favorite. My overall would definitely, you guys know, is chatterbait, but like my top water when it's on. Yeah, that's probably top waters and chatterbaits. Then everything else is down there. Next would probably be square bills. When you get on good square bill bites, then rattle traps, faster moving stuff. Keeps you busy, keeps you going. Stuff you can aim at too. I like to be able to. I don't like dock skipping, flipping. I don't like anything where I'm doing this. I like to roll cast or aim cast. The minute you start underhand or, I don't do it. But anyway, on the reel test, I feel that on some reels, like he doesn't give them their fair justice. But I was thinking about this today. I'm like, you know what? Because a shout out to him. He is probably the only one, the best guy as far as just letting everyone on YouTube know what is available, whether he even gets them or he's just putting out, videos on what he spotted here, there, or whatever. I'm not sure if the guy's got a job or not because I think he's just sitting at home on AliExpress or he's at work sitting on his phone on AliExpress finding new stuff because he definitely finds different stuff, the reels, coming out of Japan and all that. But the most in-depth, even over, you have, oh shoot, I can't even think of his name now. The dude that takes apart every reel that he gets, I can't think of his name. But anyway, I think I'm either subscribed, I may not be subscribed to him anymore because he's kind of a Daiwa guy, but then he kind of knocks everything. So anyway, shout out to Reel Test. Tactical Bassin would be as far as also gear reviews. Yes, they're sort of sponsored by some companies, but they use everything. Trust me, they're not like, yes, they make their own baits or whatever. They'll push their own stuff, but if you're seeing them talk about their baits and then other baits, you know they're not just like only pushing theirs. They're like I guess I would call them better than trying to go strictly off what a sponsored guy's telling you, right? Kevin Van Dam's going to tell you about Strike King baits. He's not going to jump over here and tell you, oh, well, the Berkeley this or that, Same thing with Mike Iaconelli. He's going to tell you about the Berkeley and about the Abu Garcia. He ain't going to tell you about the Daiwa reel, right? He used to be sponsored by Daiwa. Or this, that, vice versa, where I feel Tactical Bassin, several others, kind of like here, flavor of the week, right? If I'm into the AliExpress stuff, I'm telling you about it, the Daiwa Zillion, the Shimano's, or whatever. And as I end out, shout out to the Reel Test for just putting all the information out there on reels in general. Definitely worthwhile content that most of you guys need to watch. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, look it up, the Reel Test. You need to subscribe, watch all the videos. Don't buy everything that he has out either. That guy owns way more reels than he needs. Tactical Bassin, if you don't know about them, look them up. Also, Hobie One Kenobi does a lot of different BFS stuff, stream and some little lakes and stuff, but that true ultralight BFS type stuff. And then Jimmy with the RAR Fishing, and then Paul with, I think, Fishing Discoveries. Is that right? I think. And then there's a few others that, smaller than, some of them are even smaller than a little less here at Bass and Bonsai. But as I get out of here, I'm trying to figure out if I want to get one or not, because I found one on eBay that's pretty cheap. I don't really want this reel. Nobody's offered to buy it, so I may just fish it. When I was up at Rogers Sporting Goods, I palmed the new Bantam. I don't want a new Bantam. The color it's nasty. It's like the new Metanium. They had an old Bantam. I like that color. Not quite as bright as the Zillions, but close. And the Zillion's not as bright as the old Metanium. And the old Metanium's even brighter than this dude, which these guys are actually, the color's not too bad on these. But that Bantam palms awesome. It palms, feels better than the Corrado. It doesn't palm as small, and it's way heavier than all these other reels. But that Bantam just palmed sweet. Now here's my take on it, and I'm tempted to do it to turn it into a winter project, because you can get them, and there may be even some pop on even cheaper, or maybe if I really even ask around, I could find one that is actually scuffed and gouged and jacked up. And one of you guys may know the answer, but I'm pretty sure if I got a Bantam, I could do it just like I would the Edo AI. I could strip off all the stuff because it's a one chunk solid. And the side plate, I believe the little, I don't even know what they call that thing, but instead of having a side plate, it's just got the round piece. Kind of like we had the Hunt House reel. Remember it? Remember the Hunt House, Charles? But it's already, I think, like a naked aluminum, maybe with just a clear coat or something. But it's like the one piece here and then the side plate, and they're both aluminum. So I could strip that down, polish it up just like I did the Edo AI. I've actually done my Megabass Zonda, if you guys remember right. I did the same thing to that reel. And so I could have a true aluminum that polished, which would end up being hopefully shiny like this, right? So I thought about doing that, trying to find one, and there's one on there right now, like $158, but they kind of mislead you. They only show you one picture, looking down at it, and the description says item as in picture. Well, I can't see the whole thing. Has it got a big gouge over here, scratch or whatever? And the thing is, well, even if it does, and I can strip it down like that, because one thing about these Zillions, you can't do that with these. I think this side plate's plastic. I think this top plate is plastic. This plate actually comes off, if you guys remember right. Like I haven't showed you on this, but I'm pretty sure this comes off just like what the LingL does. So if I tried to, this already looks like it's kind of like just an all aluminum, which I think makes them look good. But if it starts getting scratched up and jacked up, you're going to have to either repaint it or whatever. You can't just strip it down and polish it up. I think I can with a a Bantam, and I think it would actually look nice, and I love the way those things palm, and it should cast roughly like my old Aldebaran MGL, you know, within range, maybe the same as with a little bit bigger line. So it should be all right, right? Just maybe a touch overall bigger bait, but I mean, I know they're going to cast good. Like all your Shimano stuff casts pretty good. Does it cast as good as a Zillion? Heck no, real test. No, it doesn't. Now the shootout I did, if you guys remember right, I shot the Zillion out against the Aldebaran MGL, and that's why I started using this much line. That's roughly what the Aldebaran MGL holds. So we took the line off it, put on this, and did a shootout. Real quick heads up, and then I'm out. But anyway, I got to get out here. But anyway, like in a couple casts, it maybe beat this. But in a 3/4 ounce rattle trap down to a 2-gram crappie jig, the Zillion just smoked the Aldebaran. Like there was no competition. That's when I'm like, this is legit. And since then, it's just an awesome casting, filling, looking, working reel. All right, I got to go get out, go bass and bonsai. But whatever you do, make sure you have fun doing it and do it in sexy shad color. Bye.